Welcome once again to Punters Inside Run. You must be excited because again we've got a huge day's racing, arguably one of the best again for the year. We've got 5 Group 1s, the Golden Slipper at Rosehill. We've got the $5 million All-Star Mile. Mick Sharkie as always joins me. James Lamb from punters.com. Lammy, it's just a wonderful day.
Really is, and the All-Star Mile is going to be an absolute cracker because the speed early is going to be electric. So I think all horses will get their chance, they'll string out. We should have it in store for a big finish as well.
The best horses in the country are all running tomorrow.
Absolutely running tomorrow, and the All-Star Mile in Melbourne, it's not a bad little, I guess, entree to the big ones in Sydney, the way the dice fall over the day. But yeah, it's a fantastic day's racing.
All right, coming up, Simon O'Donnell will join us to look at the Golden Slipper and also the George Rider, 2 of the 5 Group 1s at Rosehill. And then Shark will have his multi, his perm, and we'll have the perk, the quaddie, which we got last week. We're determined to get an even bigger price this week. But first, let's talk about the All-Star Mile. Last week in the big event, the Newmarket Lammy, all the usual suspects were up the front and finished 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it going to be similar here?
I think so. I think it's a really good race, but I think it's a skinny race. I've only got sort of 3 chances, possibly 2 chances, and going again with the usual suspects, the ones we've seen dominate the weight for age ranks over the last couple of years.
What about the fresh faces, the Laws of Indices, and She's a Belter, who ran very well last week in Sydney?
She's a Belter was awesome.
Yeah.
And I think Laws of Indices is not without a chance here. He's been so good in these big mile races without winning. Went over to Hong Kong, of course, and ran a massive race there. So I think he's probably the forgotten horse in the race. Well,
they're from Sydney. We get the inevitable who never loses, comes from Tassie. And of course, we've got Alan Quirr, who comes from overseas. So they're all attacking the usual suspects.
Yeah, I think I love the inevitable, but I'm not sure the Tassie form is the right reference for a race like this. And Alan Quirr would be a huge training performance to get this horse to win first up. Its overseas form is obviously world class at its best, but first up at the Valley in a race that's going to be run at a frantic tempo, might just be a little bit vulnerable late, but is a chance.
All right, we'll get to your tips, but Alligator Blood is the favourite, well backed, shortening all the time, deserves to be favourite on form, doesn't he?
Absolutely. I mean, he was awesome winning the Futurity first up, and thought that was probably their race to beat him, given he was first up and key rivals had a bit of a fitness edge on him. They couldn't do it. He's even better second up, 7 starts for 4 wins and 2 minor placings. So he's a hard horse to go around, Matty.
You got the Alligator on top?
Got the Alligator on top. I think ignore the Cox Plate run. 2000 on a heavy track probably sees him out. He's just not as effective on wet ground, but back on a dry track, just quickly, last 4 on good tracks, Group 1 Stradbroke, Group 1 Underwood, Group 1 Cantarlac, Group 1 Futurity. So pretty hard to knock him.
Ding, 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 ding. Second and third?
Mr. Brightside, I think, is the main danger, especially given he's drawn in. That's a big advantage for him because 2 races where he's had to go back recently in the Ore and the Cox Plate, he's just been left with too much to do. But I think he settles a lot closer. The problem is he just doesn't beat Alligator Blood.
That's right.
The last 3 times they've clashed, it's been at least a length. So Mr. Brightside for second. I'm thunderstruck for third, but I can't see him turning the tables on Alligator Blood.
With or against?
I'm against.
Ooh, controversy.
Yeah, well, there's a little bit of speed here. You look at Keats, he's going to be going forward. Gentleman Roy's going to be going forward. Alligator Blood's drawn in between them. So if one of them wants to really kick on and lead, it just might be on a little bit in those early stages. Proven he can just sit
behind the leader, can't he?
Yeah, well, the other one that's going to be sitting behind the leaders is Mr. Brightside. And how important are barriers in these big races? And Mr. Brightside has got the absolute cherry draw here. Loves the Valley. I can see him lobbing sort of 4th, 5th, somewhere like that. If he starts to get a crack at him from the 400 and so he's building momentum off that corner, I think he'll win. I think Laws of Indices is the forgotten horse. I think he brings Animo form to this race. We say Animo's the best horse in the country. Well, he's been 2.4 and 1.7 lengths off him. He just needs to win. Next best for me, Alligator Blood. He's so reliable, isn't he?
I'm with Lammy. I'm with the Alligator. I've got I'm Thunderstruck, who finally gets to 1600 and likes the Valley for second, and a roughie for third in the New Zealander Agon. Last time at 1600 wasn't far behind Alligator Blood in the Champions Mile in the spring. All right, that's the All-Star Mile, Lammy. Give us your best bets and your value.
Best bet, I think we double our money early in the day, Matty, very early in the day. Race 1, number 1, Midwest, just a 1,000-metre flyer, this horse, 2 from 2 at the Valley. I think we'll be way too quick for them. Next best, Amenable, liked him in the court.
I knew you'd have Amenable, you had to.
Liked him in the Guineas, it was a bit of a horror show. I think we back up here, $3. Have a saver on CR7 at $11. Just back those 2 there. And the best value for me, race 6, number 8, Fluorescent Star, $9. 2 runs back from a break have been really good, and the Yagi stable on fire, 18% this year, 65 ROI if you're backing the Yagis this year.
I was in Adelaide on Cup Day, and I had a champagne with Amy Yagi after she won the Cup, And I said, how's your week looking? And she said, fluorescent star. She said, I reckon I'll get 2 stakes races in a week.
You heard it first right here on Punters Inside
you
Run.
go.
Give us your best bets and your value.
Race 5, number 5, Moonamek. He won last time. I know he's been up forever, but he's just so reliable.
Yep.
And he's racing against a field of stayers, first or second up. So I think he's just the right horse in the right race again. Best value for me, race 9, number 10, CR7. Lammy mentioned it. The run last time was huge. I think he's over the odds in this race.
All right, I've got the same as Lammy for to start the day. Best bet, race 1, number 1, Midwest. Put some money in the account. And then race 2, number 12, Fearless Rider. Got the run up the inside of the valley last time. I don't think benchmark 70 will be a problem. I think it's got a little bit of talent, this filly, and I think she's on the way up. That is my value bet. All right, that is the All-Star Mile and our best bets for the valley. Coming up, Simon O'Donnell will join us for a look at the big races at Rosehill.
If you're in love with racing, then you'll love the new betting brand for racing fans. With exclusive markets, promotions, insights and content. That's better. Gamble responsibly.
Sydney time here on Punters Inside Run. An amazing day. 5 Group 1s, the $5 million Golden Slipper. Simon O'Donnell joins us. It doesn't get much bigger than this at Rosehill.
No, it doesn't. It's a big race day. Actually, it's bigger than big. It's massive.
It's massive. So let's get to this $5 million race, the Golden Slipper. It's been interesting to watch this journey to the Slipper. Learning to Fly was a favourite. Then we had the Todman and the Riesling, and all of a sudden, Cylinder, the Colt, is the new favourite.
Yeah, and I think obviously he's going to run boldly. That stable's absolutely airborne at the minute. I think the boys are better than the girls.
The times sort of say that, don't they? Like the times out of that last run, Cylinder, Red Resistance, Learning to Fly, Facile, the boys were much quicker. Similar sort of race, they dragged away and got a big margin on third in both races. But yeah, the boys have been a bit quicker.
Yeah, I think the winner will come from the boys, but again, it's a slipper, and the pressure is enormous from go to way, so anything can happen.
All right, there's been a little bit of money for a couple out of the Blue Diamond in Little Bros and Don Corleone, who was very unlucky. Do you rate that race?
Yes, very much so.
Very much so.
Very much so. I haven't got either of those horses in my top
Well, you obviously
3.
don't rate it then.
But again, I think there's 12 or 14 horses legitimately can win the slipper.
All right, well, let's land on your top 3 then.
Okay, well, sorry to the other 11.
Yeah.
As I said, I'm going with the 3 boys. I just think Red Resistance and Shinzo winning last week, but quick back up. But I liked the way the character he showed getting to the line and winning last weekend. And Cylinder, well, take nothing away from him with what he's done.
Yep.
As I said, the stable's airborne. So I think that top 3 will come from 6, 7 or 5.
Shark.
Even though the boys have been faster, I think the most impressive win visually has been produced by Learning to Fly. That Inglis Millennium win was something else, and the format of that race has been really good. She beat Steel City, who we've seen be very unlucky in a Blue Diamond, so that ties in with Little Bros and the like. I think she would have been in the finish of the Diamond. Almost a month between runs into the Riesling, and then she was what they would say was flat, beating Facile, but she still won. She's unbeaten. I'm with her, Learning to Fly. I think King's Gambit can turn things around. A few gear changes. He's just been a bit headstrong. Gear changes to switch him on. 5-cylinder next best. But yeah, I'm with Simon. There's probably another 6 or 7 or 8 that have genuine each way claims.
I've gone with...
And Shark apologises to them too.
Of course,
I've
always.
gone with Don Corleone, because if I don't, I'll have to swim with the fishes. But very unlucky in that Blue Diamond. Gets a nice draw to settle. I don't think Hugh Bowman hurts either. Cylinder is the horse to beat. There's won the 2 traditional lead-up races. Got the good form. And I just love Steel City's win last week. And so James Lamb's not on this segment, but he would be tipping Steel City because he always does. But it was a good win out in front. The wide barrier might make it a little bit challenging, as it is for the 11 other horses. All right, so we've all got different selections of the Golden Slipper. Will it be the same for the George Rider? Animo has 3 weeks off, comes back to 1,500, gets a wide barrier. Does that make a difference?
No.
When you say it like that, you'd say, oh, he should be vulnerable. But you look at the opposition. What's beating him here? Like, Artorias was great last time. A gem from Zach Purton to get him home. Mark Zara takes over here, inside gate. He's going to have a lot of backsides around him when he wants to get out and get going. And then you're down to the 3-year-olds, Communist and Osipenko. I think Osipenko can run second, but I don't know if he can beat Animo.
Give us your top 3 then. We all agree we've got Animo on top.
Yeah, Animo on top. I'm with Shark. If there's a horse that can beat Animo in this race, I think there's only one, and that's Osipenko.
Okay.
So I've got him in as my second pick, and Artorias is my third.
Shark?
Animo on top, Osipenko second, Artorias third. Same trifecta.
I've just put Fangirl in to run third, and Fangirl always runs an honest race, but it's getting sick and tired of seeing Animo ahead of it. I think Artorias was a terrific win, but you're right, things have to go right. But again, it's running for second, so I've got Artorias and Fangirl to second and third, which leads us to, we know Animo's a good bet. What about your best in Sydney, Simon?
Look, my best, I reckon people thought this fella was a wet tracker until his last couple of runs, and that's Pericles. You know,
Excellent run at Sandon.
Just fantastic runs, and just said, hey, I'm itching for a bit further. As an individual, he's just a beauty. So he's got a bit of classic written all over him. I think we'll see him in the Derby later on, but I think he'll win the Randwick Guineas on Saturday.
And your value?
My value comes with Osipenko. I really rate Osipenko as a good chance to knock over Animo. I think they'll go at the end. Whether we can put our nose in front and get the value, here we go.
Shark?
I can't believe I'm saying this.
I do.
But I think Moonga is the best bet of the day.
I had it second best bet, so I'm with you.
I think he's the best. He's flying. I think this is the right race for him. I think he'll catch them for fitness here. Best value in the Galaxy, Shades of Rose. She's flying at the trials. I think she can win the Galaxy.
I've got Pink Ivory in race number 3, number 7 there. Goes up to 1900 metres, unbeaten second up, stays down in the weights. Avdullah takes the ride. And race 9, number 11 is Andermatt. Hopefully Midwest has won the first race at the Valley, so the form stacks up. And I think the stable's flying, and so is Michael D. If you want a Group 1 jockey, you want him. Before we go, you've got to have an omen bet for us.
Yeah, I do. In Melbourne, this week we've been reading about the submarines.
Yes.
What a deal that might be.
Oh.
What a deal.
What a deal. So let's go race 9, number 6 at Moonee Valley.
I like
a
it.
deal.
The omen bet, what a deal. Let's hope it doesn't go under. That's the George Rider and the Golden Slipper. Check our socials for the other 3 Group 1s at a marvellous day's racing at Rosehill.
If you're in love with racing, then you'll love the new betting brand for racing fans. With exclusive markets, promotions, insights and content. That's better. Gamble responsibly.
It's all fun here at Punters Inside Run, but this time is where we look at the perm and the perk. The Punters Inside Run multi and quaddie. Shark's got thinning hair, but he's in charge of the perm. I know it doesn't make any sense, mate. You're still in the positive.
Thanks. Well, yeah, there's a few. Oh, you're talking about the hair or the? Oh no, we are. We're still in the positive, but I think we'll get it this week.
Okay, let's go.
Some trepidation.
Go.
Righto, we're combining our best bets as we tend to do. Right, Moonee Valley, we're going to start race 1, number 1 Midwest, because gentlemen both like that. Race 5, number 5 Munhamek, it's my best at the Valley. Then we're going to Rosehill, and in what could be a nail-biting finish, we're putting our faith in Moonga, race 6,
It's
number 2.
been a long time.
To bring home the multi.
It's a ballsy play.
570 something days, but I like it as well, so I'm with you.
$20.24.
Ooh, $20.
That's not bad. I feel like that's worth the risk.
6
Is it
months
not?
of multis, doesn't it? Almost.
It does,
Well,
yeah.
5 months worth anyway. All right, let's get on to the quaddie. This is where I've got some numbers already, and then the boys sort of massage it. We got it last week. It wasn't huge, but we did get it. So
I told you, the finger
you did say
never lies.
never lies. We'll start with the main race. Race 7, because there's 10 races at the Valley. I've got Alligator Blood and I'm Thunderstruck. You obviously
I
want
think you
Mr.
have to have
Brightside.
Brightside must.
I think those 3 are the only ones you need.
The big 3. So we had Mr. Brightside there. Second leg, I've got 6 runners. I've got Paris Dior, My Bella May, Wee Nessie, Parasol I'm keen on, Royal Merchant and Clarity. Feel free to cut or add.
I would nearly chop Wee Nessie from 14,
Good, because I thought Wee Nessie was choppable.
but I would add Winner Takes It All.
Can we play? Cue music. What do you think, Lemmy?
I thought it was a tough race. I'd maybe chop Royal Merchant,
Good, okay. Royal Merchant out.
but happy with the others.
Wee Nessie out.
Yes,
And
Winner
who
Takes
goes
It All in.
Winner takes it all. So that goes down to 5. So 3 by 5. So get that. Royal Merchant out. Wee Nessie out. Winner takes it all comes in. Next race, I just went with the obvious 4 here. Dunkell, Bankmore, Amenable, of course, and Japanese Emperor. The market says there's 4 in it.
I would chop Dunkell and put in CR7. I think he's a better horse.
You both like it.
I really like CR7. I really like Amenable. I'd chop Bankmore, barrier 1. Don't know where he ends up in the run.
Bankmore out. CR7 in,
Definitely.
leaving it at 4.
If you like.
What else did you want?
I was going to chop Dunkel.
You want to go down to 3?
Why not?
Okay,
we're going to
down to 3.
we're gonna have to come home wide.
Okay, Dunkel's out. So we're down to 3. We're Amenable, Japanese Emperor, and CR7.
I like this boldness.
I
that
like
we've found
boldness.
here in the
Doesn't
paddock.
often work, but I like it. I've only got 5 in the last leg. You could have 15 and still miss it. I've got Quay, British Columbia, Too Good for Turak, 3 and 4 pence, and Frost Yourself.
I think Superazzi has to go in from that.
Superazzi. I wasn't quite sure there.
Well, Ryoyuki maybe goes in as well.
It is a strange race to finish
It's
on.
a shocking race.
It's hard.
You know, they've dished
We're
up
making
another.
excuses already.
They've dished up another benchmark race to finish the quaddie, which is not great.
Yeah.
When Quay is $6,
Yeah.
it's a tough race.
$6 the field. All right. So we're adding 2 there to go to 7.
I like that. Yeah.
Okay, so 3 by 5 by 3 is 45 times 7 is 280, and that's 315. So that's about 28%.
That makes sense to me.
I could have made that whole stuff up.
I'm not an abacus.
I know our man Danny is looking at the numbers there. He's going to come back with us, but we've played around with the quaddie, and that's what we've got at the end. We'll take it because it is a very tough way to finish.
Indeed.
Happy punting on the weekend, guys.
Thanks,
Yeah,
boys.
let's get the cash early.
Let's, what about, we're going to get that?
I'm not so confident this week.
No finger, so that's what we're dealing with here on Punters Inside Run. But wherever you're betting, whether it's Sydney or Melbourne, have a great weekend. Hope you find a winner. Hope we start early, as Lammy said, and join us next week here on Punters Inside Run, and check us all out on socials.
If you're in love with racing, then you'll love the new betting brand for racing fans. With exclusive markets, promotions, insights, and content. That's better. Gamble responsibly.